And speaking of abandoned, story time. When I was a freshman in college, I was dating this girl from the projects. Top 5, dead or alive. Shorty was talented in the bedroom. Her moms used to let me spend the night at her crib and we'd go at it. You're here with me now, and I'm harder than I've ever been. I take my time with the touch because we have all day. I won't rush. I stare at you and you stare at me. Then I slowly undress you with my teeth. Your body is calling me. So I whisper so gently.
I want to be very rough with you.
So be rough with me.
And apparently, I wasn't the only one, because the next time I ran into her, she was pregnant. And the dad didn't want anything to do with the baby, so she was trying to convince me to be a stepdad at 19.
Nigga, what?
Listen, sweetheart, I came for the water park, but didn't even end up getting on the ride because I wasn't trying to take care of that baby. So I stopped talking to her until I ran into her again in my sophomore year. On spring break, I had just bought my first car and I was giving all the hoes rides, basically accepting ass for gas money. And I ran into her one day and she was with her baby. So like the gentleman that I am, I put the baby in the front seat and tore her ass up in the back seat. You shitting me?
You're kidding, right?
That was a joke. I drove them home and then she asked me did I want to come upstairs. And I said no, because I had vowed to myself that any woman crazy enough to ask me to raise a newborn baby that wasn't even mine was way too crazy for me to ever go raw in again. Cause yes, I was hitting that raw, and I don't know about y'all, cause y'all be lying. But for me, once you go raw with a woman, you usually don't go back. So I said no to coming upstairs. But she did still want to talk to me, so she asked me to wait for her. So we sitting in the car and she's telling me how good I look.
You say he ugly? She said you ugly. She said you.
That's right. She was calling your boy handsome.
I don't even know my name no more. They calling me handsome.
Telling me how those college bitches don't got shit on her water park. And for y'all, I didn't fold y'all. I was proud, but I made one mistake. I admitted that I hadn't been to a water park like hers in a while. And her response was, I know you haven't. The crazy thing is, she said she's got new tricks and she's been practicing for the day she ran into me again. I told her, I'm not trying to do all that. And her response to that was, well, let me taste it.
Huck to and spit on that thing.
Yeah, I folded. And the next thing you know, Shorty was climbing over the armrest in broad daylight in front of her projects. I never stood a chance. And a few days later, she called me to say she was pregnant. And I hit her with the Anthony Edwards. I'ma pay for the deletion. Yeah. For 3 days straight, she put me through one of the biggest emotional roller coasters of my life. 1 second, I'd convince her to go to the clinic, and then 2 hours would go by and she'd change her mind. And I couldn't stay because I had to go back to school. So I'm back in college, away, stressing, not eating, and by day 3, I did the only reasonable thing I thought I could do. I called my mom, a God-fearing woman. Yeah, she cursed me out, saying stuff like,
You so fucking stupid. You got pictures of you on social media holding magnums on the internet and you didn't put one on?
She had me on the phone bawling. I'm not gonna lie, I'm crying hard because I had been going back and forth with this woman, arguing with her, begging her not to do this, telling her my kid would want for nothing but your first kid, which is not my kid, will be jealous of the one because I'm not doing anything for that kid. And to shorten this long ass story, my mom ended up calling me back and started asking me questions.
How old is this girl? Does she live in New York?
And the biggest question was,
When did you sleep with her?
because I was on spring break last week. No one knows that they're pregnant that fast. Yeah, I called that girl back with bass in my voice and said, and I quote, my mama said, it's too soon for you to know if you're pregnant. She responded, and I quote,
You and your bum ass mama. I know my body. I'm pregnant.
and my reply to that was, her word Well, holla at me in 9 months. And then I hung up on her and ran into her 6 months later with no stomach, drinking a nutcracker. Her and her friends laughed at me, so I flicked them off and kept it moving. But y'all, I was prepared to raise that child, cause no child of mine was gonna be a fatherless kid.